going to talk about a serious topic tonight, and that is lung cancer. And joining me is Brianna Regaini, hope I did that justice, and Tina Tolomeo. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys are with a walk, Hartford Free to Breathe Run Walk, which will be October 9th, which raises research money to try to find a cure for lung cancer. Both of you have experience with this. You've both lost your fathers to lung cancer. Talk to me, Tina, about when your father was diagnosed, how long did he live, and take me through it.
Yeah, so he actually was diagnosed in May of 2010, and they actually diagnosed him very quickly. They did a great job at the hospital with initiating treatment right away. He had about 4 months of chemo every 2 weeks, and then he had some prophylactic radiation to his head, because that's one of the places where lung cancer spreads. His hadn't spread there, but they did the prophylactic radiation. And he did well with that first round of chemo, and then a few months later, the cancer came back, and they started a different chemo this time. And unfortunately, this time he didn't do as well, and he ended up with low blood counts and developed a serious infection, which ultimately is what led to his death.
You're a pediatric nurse. How hard was this on you, being a nurse and his daughter?
Yeah, so it was difficult, because actually I practice in pulmonary medicine as well, not adult, but still pulmonary medicine. So it was difficult, because you kind of almost know what's coming before it's coming, especially that last week where he spent his last week in the ICU at the hospital trying to fight this infection. So, yeah. And
just trying to breathe. He was a smoker on and off for most of his life?
On and off, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brianna, let's talk about your dad.
Yep.
Lifelong smoker?
Yes.
Okay. Diagnosed when with lung cancer?
He was diagnosed in April of 2014. He went through 15 months of treatment, 3 different types of chemo, as well as radiation, and he passed in July of 2015.
You're 25 years old.
Yeah.
How hard was that to lose your dad? I can't imagine.
Yeah, it was difficult.
So you've geared up, and you are heading up this October 9th Hartford Free to Breathe Run and Walk.
Yes, I'm the event chair this year.
Where'd you find the strength?
So the first year, the summer that my dad got diagnosed, my sister found Free to Breathe, I think on just the website.
Because it's a national organization.
Yeah, yep. And we got involved, and the year after, I was asked to be on the planning committee. I jumped right on that. I want to be an event planner. I am working at Notre Dame High School as an event planner, so it's right up my alley. And the chair of 10 years stepped down, and they offered me the position, and I just couldn't pass it up.
Well, you've lived it, so you know what it's about.
Yep.
Last year, you guys raised $62,500. Where does the money go?
Straight to research.
Straight to research.
Straight to Free to Breathe, which goes to research. This year, actually, they approved 2 grants, research grants, for $1.2 million.
Okay.
Over $1.2 million.
So it's going into funding that's so important. And as we were talking before we started taping, that money's drying up for research across the country.
Absolutely.
It's very, very difficult. I want to ask you both, since both of your fathers died of lung cancer, what did they tell you about smoking? Did your dad say anything to you about smoking?
No.
He didn't. Did he say he tried to quit?
He quit after his first round of chemo, or after radiation. His tumors were shrinking. He was good for a little bit. He went back for a test. They were growing again, and that's when he stopped. He thought he would stop then, but it's
then
too late.
He picked it back up again.
Yeah.
Until the end.
Yeah.
What'd your dad say about smoking?
So it's actually funny, because growing up, he always told us not to smoke, even though he did it on and off. So we certainly weren't allowed to do it. He actually, unfortunately, or fortunately, he actually quit smoking about 8 months before he got diagnosed, completely quit, because he underwent bilateral knee surgery, replacement surgery. And so for the surgery, in preparation for the surgery, he had quit smoking and then didn't pick it up again. And then 6 months later ended up getting diagnosed, so.
Another question to both of you. When you see young kids smoking in high school, in junior high, Do you just want to go up to them and say, what are you doing?
I don't get it.
Tell me about that, Brianna.
Just nowadays, I just don't understand. I can understand the old school generation, that's how they grew up, and it was cool back in the day, but now I just don't get it.
Is that part of your message? I mean, I know you're studying to be an event planner, but do you see yourself on a bigger stage saying, look, I lost my dad to smoking. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm part of Free to Breathe. And you know, it's not just smokers. There's non-smokers that get affected by this, but you know you have a higher risk, so why even do it?
And how about you?
Yeah, it definitely.
When you see kids, I mean, as a nurse,
Yeah.
a pulmonary nurse,
Yeah.
it's dumbfounding, actually, I think.
Yeah. Actually, that's one of the things we talk to our patients about all of the time. I'm a nurse practitioner for pediatric pulmonary, and every visit we talk about, you know, because we have so many kids who have asthma, and we ask, you know, do you smoke? Does the family smoke? And really try to encourage them to stop smoking for their own health, but also for the future, for their future.
Brianna, how are you guys growing this organization? The chapter here, there's only one, and I said to you, New Haven needs one too. You have several hundred people show up. Where do you hope to grow this event?
So the event has been going on in Connecticut for 10 years. It was in Glastonbury for, last year was the first year, it was at East Hartford at Rentschler. We're hoping to, you know, get it to Hartford and
New Haven, maybe
Hartford,
Waterbury, who knows?
Yep, and we're encouraging people from all over Connecticut to come to it. Hartford's pretty local or centralized, and we're hoping just to
And
get
what
as many
happens? It's at
people.
Rentschler Field. What happens when you all come together? Do you all share stories? What happens?
We do have a rally that kicks off the day, and there's usually one person telling a story. I think in the past you've done more than I have. This is only my third year. They've had a couple people speak at the rallies.
There have been husbands of a woman. Actually, there's one husband of a woman who had passed away very young, and she wasn't a smoker. They actually, there was radon in their home. And so, yeah, as Brianna said, different people come and tell their stories, and it's just heartbreaking to see and hear.
So what is the message as two daughters who lost somebody in their family to lung cancer? What's your message, Brianna?
I mean, to the smokers out there, just quit while you're ahead. And, you know, we're trying to provide resources and information and educational pieces out there too. So there's pieces that Free to Breathe has that describe symptoms and go get checked in your x-rays, and just, they have radon kits too, so that's a big one as well.
Tina?
Absolutely. I mean, I think those are the biggest messages is if you smoke, stop. If you don't smoke, don't pick it up. And certainly you can get lung cancer from other things. And so some of the high risk, some of the higher risk ones like radon, get your home tested, put in a radon mitigation system if you have radon in your home.
When somebody has cancer in a family, the entire family has cancer.
Yep.
Because it changes the dynamics of
Absolutely.
everything. What happened in your family once your dad was diagnosed?
I mean, we're already a close-knit family, but we got closer than I thought would be possible. And we've carried it on, and we just stuck by him through the year and a half.
How hard was that?
It was difficult.
Because it changed it. I mean, people have to either stop working or go to part-time or whatever they have to do. What about insurance? Was that an issue as well?
No, not for our family. I think he had pretty good insurance.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
And how about you?
Yeah, luckily it wasn't an issue because, I mean, some of these medications were just incredible, but luckily we had insurance.
And the dynamics of your family changed how?
You know, I think actually, I didn't know Brianna, but it sounds like our families are very similar, so we were very close-knit to begin with, and so I do think that in some ways this brought us closer. It's just, it's something that you really can't imagine until you go through it yourself. It's hard to really even explain, you know.
Well, to watch somebody not being able to breathe is horrendous, and you guys both witnessed it. October 9th, Hartford Free to Breathe Run and Walk at Rentschler Field. May you get thousands of people to show
I
up
hope so.
and help you. And thank you for spreading the word about how dangerous smoking is. Brianna Reganini, and Tina Tolomeo, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Made a trivial pursuits when one listen. Who is this girl? Spend all night kissing, and if one was right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked if I'm a witch, and I found the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Need to keep locked in the grocery store of a mind. Just to save time.